Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Before Georgie and Mandy's first marriage begins, it is worth looking back on what young Sheldon and the Big Bang Theory told viewers about the series. Young Sheldon's spin-off Georgie and Mandy's first marriage is in a unique position. The CBS sitcom takes place after young Sheldon's finale, but before the beginning of the Big Bang Theory. By the Big Bang Theory's finale, Sheldon had reconciled with his older brother Georgie. However, the pair were estranged throughout most of the show's original run, meaning not a lot was known about the mysterious older brother Sheldon left behind in Texas. In the Big Bang Theory Season 11, Episode 23, The Sibling Realignment, Jerry O'Connell played the older Georgie as a no-nonsense tire store owner who harbored a deep resentment towards his brother. Georgie felt Sheldon was their mother Mary's favorite son. Despite how much effort Georgie put into supporting Mary after the death of their father, George Sr. eventually, the duo resolved their differences and became close again. However, this outing also revealed something else about Georgie's older self. Georgie mentioned his ex-wife in passing, meaning young Sheldon viewers knew that the character's eventual marriage would end in divorce. As the title implies, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage will finally explain why Georgie and Mandy divorced. The series already introduced a major impediment for its title characters in young Sheldon Season 7, when Georgie and Mandy moved in with Mandy's parents. Previously, Georgie and Mandy had been living with Georgie's family, the Coopers, while raising their young daughter Cease. However, when the Cooper family's bathrooms malfunctioned in Season 7, Episode 8, an ankle monitor and a big plastic crap house. This inevitably led to some tension since Mandy's mother, Audrey, didn't approve of the couple's temporary new setup. While Georgie and Mandy's first marriage will end some young Sheldon storylines, the show is primarily focused on Georgie, Mandy, and the McAllister family. Mandy's parents, Audrey and Jim, have already been sharing their home with Georgie, Cease, and Mandy for a few weeks by the time the new show starts. Although Audrey enjoyed spending time with her granddaughter Cease in young Sheldon Season 7, she resented Georgie's presence and felt that he derailed her daughter's promising path in life. Only time will tell whether Georgie can change her mind in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, although one plot bodes well. Throughout most of young Sheldon Seasons 6 and 7, Georgie made his money by working in both his grandmother's illegal gambling room and the laundromat that they used to launder the business's money. When this operation was shut down by the police in Season 7, Episode 7, A Proper Wedding and Skeletons in the Closet, Georgie was left unemployed. This exacerbated Audrey's dislike for her new son-in-law, particularly considering the illegality of his original job. In an attempt to both make peace and offer his son-in-law a leg up, Jim gave Georgie a job in his tire store. This is about the most unambiguously sweet gesture the McAllister family has offered Georgie and Mandy, outside allowing them to live in the family home rent-free. However, that doesn't mean that it is an outright success. Viewers familiar with the Big Bang Theory's version of Georgie will recall that he ran a chain of Dr. Tire stores throughout Texas, and he says in one of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage trailers that he likes being underestimated, since this gives him an edge over competitors. Georgie and Mandy's first marriage may reveal Georgie double-crossed Jim by setting up a rival business. By the time the Big Bang Theory introduced him, Georgie owned a string of tire stores and was separated from his wife. As Georgie and Mandy's first marriage begins, he is happily married and working in his father-in-law's tire store. It doesn't take a genius like Sheldon to work out what might have gotten between the couple, but what is harder to work out is why a happy-go-lucky guy like Georgie would suddenly stab his well-meaning father-in-law in the back. The answer might lie in his relationship with Mandy's mother, Audrey. Audrey, unlike Jim, outright hates Georgie. Audrey barely tolerates what she perceives as her own daughter's shortcomings, and even kicked Mandy out after learning she was pregnant. Audrey's hatred of Georgie in Georgie and Mandy's first marriage may move from a running joke into something more serious if it is used to justify Georgie betraying Jim. Georgie could decide that his own financial success is more important than Audrey and Jim's happiness, thus forcing Mandy to choose between her family and her husband. If this happens, then it may be no surprise that Mandy and Georgie end. Marriage ends and the Big Bang Theory begins. It is easy to forget since he was only glimpsed once in young Sheldon. But Mandy has an art student brother named Connor who is a sensitive soul. Seen in Season 6, Episode 12, A Baby Shower and a Testosterone-Rich Banter, Connor is an unemployed vegetarian whose alternative tastes and brooding demeanor couldn't be more out of place in small-town Texas. Connor hasn't been seen in many of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage's trailers, but he has been recast with disjointed star Dougie Baldwin taking over the role in the new show. He is not the only pivotal brother in the series. As young Sheldon inches closer to a major milestone, the first official wedding of Georgie Cooper and Mandy McAllister, it's the perfect time to reflect on the journey that led them to this moment. From Georgie's rebellious teenage years to Mandy's reluctant acceptance of their relationship, the road has been anything but smooth. Fans of both young Sheldon and The Big Bang Theory will recognize several key moments that foreshadow this significant event. Here are 10 things to remember ahead of Georgie and Mandy's first marriage. Georgie's first meeting with Mandy. When Georgie first met Mandy, he wasn't entirely truthful about his age, claiming to be older than he actually was. He initially won her over with his charm and confidence. However, once the truth surfaced, their relationship hit a major roadblock, setting the stage for their complicated dynamic. Mandy's pregnancy and initial rejection. Mandy's pregnancy with their daughter, Cece, came as a shock to both her and Georgie. At first, she was adamant about keeping her distance from him, feeling he wasn't ready for the responsibilities of fatherhood. However, Georgie's persistence and determination gradually changed her mind, showing that he was willing to step up for their child. Georgie's growth and maturity. Over the seasons, Georgie evolved from an irresponsible teen to a dedicated father and businessman. He made sacrifices, took on more responsibilities at work, and even sought advice from Mimo and George Sr. to become the man Mandy and Cece needed. This transformation played a crucial role in Mandy giving their relationship a second chance. Mimo's influence. Mimo has been one of Georgie's biggest supporters. She not only provided him with a job at her laundromat, but also offered crucial life lessons along the way. Her belief in Georgie's potential and her candid advice played a key role in shaping his path toward marriage and fatherhood. The family's mixed reactions. The Cooper family had varied responses to Georgie's situation. Mary struggled to accept that her teenage son was having a child out of wedlock, while George Sr. took a more understanding approach. Sheldon, in his typical fashion, viewed it through a logical lens, whereas Missy showed her unwavering support for Georgie. TBBT clues about Georgie's marriages. Fans of The Big Bang Theory already know that Georgie gets married multiple times in the future. In the series, Sheldon mentions his brother's various marriages, which suggests that Georgie and Mandy's first marriage may not be their last. However, it's unclear how closely young Sheldon will stick to this established canon. Mandy's family and their disapproval. Mandy's parents initially wanted nothing to do with Georgie, seeing him as an unfit partner for their daughter. Their rocky relationship eventually improved, but tensions remained. The wedding will likely be another test of how well Georgie has integrated into Mandy's family. Georgie's entrepreneurial spirit. Throughout young Sheldon, Georgie displayed a strong knack for business. His work at Mimo's laundromat, his ability to sell tires, and his later ventures all hinted at his eventual success. This drive will play a significant role in how he supports Mandy and Cece in their new chapter as a family. The shadow of George Sr.'s fate. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of this period in young Sheldon is the looming tragedy of George Sr.'s impending death. Fans of The Big Bang Theory know that Sheldon loses his father at a young age, meaning this wedding may be one of the last major family moments they share together. How this wedding sets up the future. This marriage is a pivotal moment for Georgie, Mandy, and the entire Cooper family. Whether their union lasts or not, it marks a major shift in their lives and will have lasting repercussions on the family dynamic. Additionally, it may set up future storylines that bridge the gap between young Sheldon and The Big Bang Theory, With so many emotional and dramatic elements at play, Georgie and Mandy's first marriage promises to be a memorable event. Whether it ends in happily ever after or another twist in their complicated love story, fans will undoubtedly be watching closely as this major milestone unfolds.